Welcome to Principles of Ecology. Today, we are going to explore two of the most fascinating and powerful tools ecologists use to understand animal populations: the age ratio and the sex ratio. Imagine being able to look at a group of animals today and predict exactly what will happen to them 10 or 20 years from now. Will they thrive and multiply, or are they quietly heading toward extinction? By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to read these hidden signals in nature. Let us dive in. To understand our first topic, the age ratio, imagine looking at two different towns. In the first town, almost everyone is a retired senior citizen. In the second, the streets are filled with young children and young adults. Even without complex math, you can guess the first town will shrink, while the second will experience a massive population boom. This simple observation is the heart of what ecologists call the age structure. It is the proportion of individuals in a population that belong to different age categories at a specific point in time. It tells us not just who is alive today, but what the population will look like tomorrow. Now that we understand what the age ratio is conceptually, let us look at how ecologists actually categorize these animals. We divide a population into three major ecological ages. First, we have the pre-reproductive class, which includes young individuals that are not yet able to breed. Next is the reproductive class, consisting of mature adults actively producing offspring. Finally, we have the post-reproductive class, containing older individuals that are past their breeding age. By counting how many individuals fall into each of these three buckets, scientists can create a complete demographic profile of the species. You might be wondering, why do ecologists care so much about categorizing these ages? The answer is that the age ratio is the ultimate crystal ball for predicting future population growth or decline. If a population has a massive base of pre-reproductive individuals, it is guaranteed to grow rapidly in the future. Conversely, if an endangered species has mostly post-reproductive individuals, conservationists know the species is in critical danger. There are simply no young animals to replace the old ones. Without knowing this age structure, simply counting the total number of animals gives us a dangerously incomplete picture. This brings us to the mathematical side of things. To quantify the age structure, ecologists calculate the percentage of the population in a specific age class. The formula is P equals N divided by N, all multiplied by 100. Let us break down where this comes from. We want a standardized metric to compare different populations, regardless of their total size. Here, P represents the percentage of the population in a specific age class. The variable N stands for the number of individuals currently in that specific class, like the juveniles. Finally, N represents the total number of individuals in the entire population. If N increases while N stays stable, the percentage goes up, indicating expansion. Before we move on, let us see this formula in action with a concrete example. A wildlife biologist surveys a local deer population and counts a total of 500 deer. This is our N. She finds that 250 of these are fawns, which are pre-reproductive. This is our N. We need to calculate the percentage of this young class to understand the population's future. We substitute 250 for the numerator and 500 for the denominator. Dividing these gives us 0.5. Multiplying by 100 gives us our final answer, exactly 50%. Because half the population is young, the wildlife manager knows this herd will likely explode in size very soon. Now that we have calculated the age ratio, Let us visualize what these populations actually look like. What you are seeing here are three age structure pyramids. The vertical axis represents the three age classes: pre-reproductive at the bottom, reproductive in the middle, and post-reproductive at the top. The horizontal axis shows the percentage of the population. On the left, the expanding population has a broad base of young individuals, signaling rapid future growth. In the middle, a stable population has a more even distribution. On the right, the declining population is top-heavy, warning us of impending population decline because there are too few young individuals to sustain the group. Having mastered the age ratio, let us shift our focus to another crucial metric: the sex ratio. Imagine a farmer who wants to produce as many cows as possible. If the barn has 99 bulls and 1 cow, very few calves will be born. But with 99 cows and 1 bull, there will be a massive baby boom. In nature, the exact same logic applies. The sheer number of animals does not dictate how fast a population can grow. Rather, the balance between males and females is the true bottleneck. Formally, the sex ratio is defined as the proportion of males to females in a given population. Just as we divided age into categories, ecologists track the sex ratio across different stages of life to truly understand population dynamics. First is the primary sex ratio, which is the ratio at conception. Due to genetics, this is usually close to a perfect 1-to-1 balance. Next is the secondary sex ratio, which is the ratio at birth. This can sometimes be skewed by environmental factors. Finally, we have the tertiary sex ratio, which is the ratio among mature adult individuals. In adult populations, this ratio often shifts away from a perfect balance because males and females experience different mortality rates from things like fighting for mates or the physical toll of giving birth. Why do we track these different stages so carefully? Because the tertiary sex ratio directly determines the reproductive potential, or fecundity, of a population. In most animal species, females are the limiting factor for population growth. They're the ones who invest massive amounts of time and energy into gestation and raising offspring. A population with a high proportion of females can grow much faster than one dominated by males. Conservationists must monitor this closely. For example, if poachers target male elephants, leaving females without mates, the birth rate plummets. Knowing this balance is essential for saving endangered species. To make these comparisons scientifically rigorous, we use a specific formula. The sex ratio is most commonly expressed as the number of males per 100 females. The formula is S equals M divided by F, all multiplied by 100. Let us define our terms. S represents the standardized sex ratio. The variable M is the total count of male individuals in the population, and F is the total count of female individuals. By dividing males by females and multiplying by 100, we get a standardized metric. If S is exactly 100, there is a perfect 1-to-1 balance. If S drops below 100, it indicates a female-biased population. Let us apply this formula to a real-world scenario. A researcher is studying a network of lion prides and counts a total of 150 adult lions. Among these, there are 30 adult males and 120 adult females. We need to calculate the sex ratio as males per 100 females. We substitute 30 for M in the numerator and 120 for F in the denominator. This fraction represents the raw ratio. Multiplying by 100 standardizes it. The result is 25. This means there are 25 males for every 100 females. Because females limit reproduction, this heavily female-biased population has a very high reproductive potential. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let us review the most important ideas. First, the age ratio divides a population into pre-reproductive, reproductive, and post-reproductive classes, acting as a crystal ball for future population growth. Second, we saw how age structure pyramids visually reveal whether a population is expanding, stable, or declining. Finally, we learned that the sex ratio measures the balance of males to females, which is the crucial driver of a population's reproductive capacity. By mastering these two concepts, you now have the foundational tools to understand and protect wildlife populations. Great job following along.